Hello everyone, my name is Laura Demuth and I'm currently serving as your Minnesota FFA State Reporter for the 2017-2018 year. Thank you so much for your interest in serving as a Minnesota State FFA officer. This brief presentation is designed to answer any commonly asked questions and to assure all candidates understand the commitment of serving as an officer and to provide all applicants an equal introduction to the selection process and what is to be expected. Serving as a state officer is a commitment. As an officer, regardless of which position you are elected to, you will be the face of FFA and agricultural education and interactions with all kinds of groups and individuals. The best state officer candidates are excellent team members and have strong personal management skills, which allow them to excel not only in their FFA responsibilities, but at home and in school as well. They are aware that they are role models in person and online. State officers are constantly representing FFA, sometimes through information they develop and sometimes with prepared key messages. Officers receive lots of training but should already be ambitious and positive leaders in personal and public settings. You will teach workshops and conferences and deliver meaningful key messages through speeches, greetings, or conversations. You'll help to plan and execute events, and you'll be responsible for helping to build a strong future for FFA through your words and ideas. State officers are more than what they do. We are looking for young men and women with character. Officers with character are better role models, have stronger work ethics, and can be trusted to do the right thing. Because you serve in college, character is essential. Moms, dads, and local FFA advisors are no longer present in your daily life to make sure you get your work done or to remind you to do the right thing. State officers have to stand on their own. Our FFA Code of Conduct applies to service as a state officer, and officers found in violation of the Code of Conduct risk being removed from office. By submitting your application and running for office, you'll sign that you understand the expectations and commitments of an officer. The next few slides will outline what those time commitments look like so you can start to plan. This information will also be listed in the application itself. Your year of service will officially begin immediately after your election at this spring's convention. There will be a brief reception and quick orientation immediately after the session concludes. But the first official commitment you will have will be our kickoff training on May 3rd through 7th in the Twin Cities. There will be a parent reception as part of this event where your families will meet state staff and have a chance to ask any questions they might still have. Over the next few slides, we encourage you to pause the presentation if you need more time. It is important that officers and their families understand the summer schedule and its commitment. By submitting your officer application, you're indicating you are aware of the schedule and will work to schedule other commitments such as vacations, college orientations, and personal appointments around this pre-existing schedule. In June, officers will spend 20 days on the road. In July, they may travel up to 18 days depending on out-of-state travel details. Let's take a moment and look at the dates for State Fair. Officers are not expected to be at the fair every day, and we recognize for some of you this will conflict with the start of college classes. We will ask that you give us as many days as possible to work at the fair, and together we will deliver an excellent experience for members and fairgoers. Officers should plan to be present for a minimum of 4 days during the fair and should plan accordingly. While the summer schedule is full, we work with officers to make sure they have unscheduled time to fulfill personal responsibilities. Our schedule changes greatly in the fall. A large part of this is done to respect the fact that you are managing serving as an officer with responsibilities as a college student. We will work with you to build a college schedule that allows you to best manage your time and responsibilities. We strongly recommend students take no more than 15 credits a semester. As a student, you will be able to take a slightly larger course load the year after you are an officer. If you came in with credits, this is even more flexible. In order to graduate in 4 years, students should take an average of 15 credits a semester. Officers are best suited for academic and officer success when they respect the time they will need to thrive in class by reducing the number of credits they enroll in. Some colleges may work to provide academic credit as an officer, but even then, we only recommend you use those credits to reduce your overall course load to a manageable level. In the fall, many responsibilities become individual tasks. Each officer should expect to travel to 1 to 2 region events, approximately 7 chapter events, and about 2 professional events in the fall. There will also be some professional development or training that we try to schedule on days where the team doesn't have class. You will also represent the state at the National FFA Convention as an official delegate. Delegates may not be permitted to compete in certain career development events. We will work with you to identify your role at convention even after election. While it may appear there is a significant time requirement in the fall, it's important to realize that some events are weekends, including our board meeting, 3 of the 8 days we travel for national convention, and even some regional opportunities. We will work with you to develop management strategies so you are successful as both a student and an officer. Winter as a state officer generally involves less travel than the fall. We try to schedule things in a way that reduces winter travel for safety. There will still be monthly commitments and meetings, but officers will notice the winter is a chance to do some more personal planning and preparation. One significant opportunity in the winter is the International Leadership Seminar for state officers. This is not required, but it is an excellent opportunity for all state officers to travel internationally for nearly 2 weeks during winter break. The cost of the trip is the individual officer's responsibility and generally comes in around $4,500, including airfare. Sometimes there is sponsorship available for interested officers to help cover the cost of the trip, but officers should plan to pay for the trip on their own if necessary. It is possible for officers to travel the year after they have served as officers. This might be an option for students who want to travel but may not want to travel during their state officer year due to schedules, financing, or other factors. Spring as an officer is largely spent preparing for the state convention and wrapping up the responsibilities of a year of service. Officers will be expected to work independently and at several planning meetings to prepare for a 5,000 attendee event. State officers are encouraged to invite parents and other family members to attend the state convention on April 28th through 30th, 2019 in St. Paul. Each month, there are responsibilities that may have not been listed in the previous slides. Opportunities to meet with business and industry leaders, management of FFA's communication and efforts, and requests for officer visits at events or meetings pop up throughout the year. State staff will work to spread opportunities out throughout the team while respecting class commitments of officers. FFA officers are supported by a team of full-time FFA and ag education staff. FFA provides financial support to elected students to minimize their expenses as an officer. Support exists in 3 ways. First, officers can be reimbursed for travel and purchases that are required for state office. These reimbursements are the officer's responsibility to manage and must be submitted in a timely manner. Staff will support officers through reminders to turn in expenses, but if an officer doesn't turn in their expenses in a timely manner, they may not be able to be reimbursed after the reimbursement period has passed. State staff will also work to minimize the reimbursement needed by officers by covering expenses for the students up front whenever possible. Finally, FFA will provide some modest stipends and items outright to support officers during their year of service. FFA does not reimburse officers for unallowable expenses. These include parking or speeding tickets, insurance, fuel purchases, or unauthorized travel or expenses. State staff will explain allowable expenses to officers after they are elected. Now that you understand the expectations of an officer, let's quickly review the selection process. Applications are available online and must be submitted online by March 1st. Candidates must also send a $45 participation fee to the state FFA office. Only candidates advancing to the interview rounds of the selection process will have their participation fee processed. This fee covers just part of the cost for candidates to participate in interviews on site at the state FFA convention. The state office will share information in the coming weeks about locations and times for any available prep days that candidates may participate in. During the month of March, applications will be reviewed and interview finalists will be determined. Those candidates invited to advance to the interview round of the selection process will interview on the University of Minnesota Twin Cities campus on April 21st through 22nd, and the officer slate will be announced on April 24th. During the selection process, nominating committee members are looking for candidates who showcase the qualities they need to succeed as an officer. After evaluating the job description and responsibilities mentioned earlier, National FFA identified that successful officers excel in 8 common areas. During the selection process, these are the qualities we are looking for in every candidate. Team player, the ability to work as part of a team to achieve results and to interact effectively and positively with all kinds of people. Areas of knowledge, a basic understanding of agriculture, FFA, and agricultural education. Character, the deeply rooted habits and values that make an officer positive, trustworthy, compassionate, hardworking, coachable, and mature. Critical thinking, the ability to make important decisions well and based on good information. Communication, skills that make someone an effective listener, speaker, facilitator, and conversationalist. Organization, an overall set of habits that allow an officer to manage their time, their responsibilities, and themselves. Passion for success, the self-confidence, initiative, and commitments that get things done in an excellent way. And influence, the ability to build relationships, represent other people, and build others up. Throughout the process, committee members are always looking for proof of how a candidate does those 8 things. Every interview question or scenario is designed to help you show the committee who you are in those areas. They are always looking for evidence. That means they want you to share examples that give proof of your past behavior or accomplishments in those areas, or they are looking for you to show them the skills you currently possess in scenarios like speeches or stakeholder conversations. Throughout the process, you will have observed rounds or interactive rounds. In observed rounds, committee members are looking for you to show them your skills. This will include your written application, test and writing exercise where you will show your communication skills, your speaking and facilitation rounds where you will prove what you know and how you can motivate a group with appropriate messages, and in the stakeholder interaction round where you will have a chance, through conversation, to show how you build relationships and share FFA's messages confidently but compassionately. In the interactive rounds, you will have a chance to speak directly to or with the nominating committee members. Each round has a different format, but these are the moments where you will rely on the experience you've had in the past to share proof of who you are as a leader. Running for state office can be intimidating, but we want you to do well just as much as you do. The process is not designed to trick anyone. We want you to feel positive and confident in who you are and to do your best. Even if you are asked a question that seems negative, you can use it to show the committee how much you have learned as a leader. No matter who you are or where you come from, the fact that you are willing to serve FFA for a year is enough for the committee to take you seriously. No matter how successful your chapter might be, or how many or how few CDEs you've won, leadership begins with intention, and great leaders are found from every single background. Regardless of what your FFA story is or where you come from, you will be equally considered by the nominating committee throughout this process. Now what? Take time to imagine how FFA would be uniquely served if you were on the team. If you are willing to spend the next year serving others, we are excited to see your application. If you have questions about the requirements or the process, work with your FFA advisor to reach out to state staff. They are happy to let you know how we can support you this year. Take time to think about how you can prepare for this process. State Officer Prep Day dates and locations will be made available as soon as possible. Consider reaching out to past state officers, previous candidates, or nominating committee members for practice. Current officers or members of the nominating committee cannot help you, but there are plenty of mentors out there who want to help you grow. Not every mentor is an FFA officer. An English teacher, alumni member, or your parents can help you build a strong application. Thanks for taking time to review the expectations and requirements of State FFA office. You should share this webinar with your parents and your advisor so they understand the time commitment and expectations. If you have any questions, reach out to the State FFA office. You can begin the application process by finding the State Officer application online at www.mnffa.org. You must submit it online by March 1st. In order to complete your application, you will be asked to certify that you have reviewed this presentation in full. To do that for 2018, enter the code word integrity in the space provided. Thank you once again for going through this presentation and considering to be a Minnesota FFA State Officer candidate. I wish you the best of luck and a great state convention.